So, flight lesson number 1 for your private pilot's license. Thaddeus has flown a little bit before, not much, like a couple hours over a few years, so not really any consistent experience, pretty much starting from the beginning here.
Excited.
Awesome.
First time in the glider.
Today we're in the Shimano motor glider that happens to have an engine, so starting in this, the strategy is that learning the very basics first. So we're going to start in the glider, then we'll move on to the Champ, which is a very basic tail wheel, and then from there move on to some stuff in Cessna as well. First flight, I think we'll just do traffic pattern today, and all of the landings we'll treat it like a real glider. Pull the throttle to idle, carb heat on, and have your hand on the spoilers. So normally in an airplane you have your hand on the throttle for landing. In this, we'll have your hand on the spoilers. The reason for that is if you don't have your hand on the spoilers, they can pop open potentially on landing. We don't want that because then that'll give us a ton of drag all of a sudden and potentially shove us into the ground. Also, if you have the spoilers out a little bit and you need to go around, start by just stowing them and it'll get rid of a ton of drag and you'll have plenty of time to reach up and grab the throttle and go. Do you have any questions about that?
No.
Okay.
Makes sense to me.
Okay, sweet. So we'll have you sitting in the left seat. We've got your headset. Like I said, we'll stay in the pattern. I'll help with the radios today. The focus is more takeoffs and landings. So we talked about the GUMPS checklist, so we'll use that in the downwind when we're configuring for landing. You'll see on the runway there's these two big paint markings. They're called like the 1,000 footers or the aiming point. So when we're in the downwind, abeam those, we'll do our GUMPS, and then we'll come around and try and land on those. Okay. So, cool. Sweet. Well, let's pull it out a little farther so we don't blast the babies, and we'll get going.
And Tower Motor Glider 147 X-Ray Sierra is ready for takeoff, close traffic.
147 X-Ray Sierra, Executive Tower, Roger, hold short, Romeo 17 for traffic.
Hold short 17, 147 X-Ray Sierra.
Okay, let's go ahead and get our wheel turned. So I'm going to show you a good way to do this. So parking brake's off. Our wheel is pointed, because we were rotating that way, it's pointed completely the wrong way right now. So I'm going to hold full right rudder and brake, and I'm going to bring up the power. A little back pressure on the stick. And then as soon...
Runway heading, runway 17, clear for takeoff.
Runway heading 17, clear for takeoff, 147 X-Ray Sierra.
You see I'm just kind of pumping the brake there until it starts going. So now the wheel is pointed in the right direction. Gotcha. And then we got that sign there. So final's clear. We're going to always check final for traffic. We're going to come out, get set up on the center line. If you look at the windsock, we've got a left crosswind. It's over there.
Okay.
All right. So we'll get lined up on the center line. All right, your flight controls, so get your hand on the throttle.
My controls.
So bring it up to 4,000 first.
Okay.
And use your rudders to keep us on the center line. There's 4,000. So right rudder, keep us on the center line. Right rudder makes us go right. And just make sure you don't touch the brakes here. So make sure your heels are on the ground. All right, go full power. And a little more right rudder. And then just be really careful with bank. We don't want to hit a wingtip on the ground. So right rudder there. You see we need a lot of right rudder in this. And then when we're climbing out, we want to be at 59. So use your pitch. So push down and to the right. Push down more. We want to be at 59.
Okay.
And level the wings now. Now we're fast, so now pitch up. It's just like going uphill will slow us down. There you go. All right, we're full power. Nice. Try to keep the wings level here. The wind's blowing from that way, so the nose wants to point into the wind.
Gotcha.
It's the weather vaning tendency. All right, there's a plane there.
Yep.
Left traffic.
Left traffic, 147 X-Ray Sierra.
All right, he told us left traffic, so we'll make our left rectangular pattern around the runway here.
Okay. Should I go ahead and start turning?
Yep, you can go ahead and start that turn.
One, take a pop, a heavy release.
Nice jump turn.
A little space between that motor glider.
Nice, that's a good amount of bank there. Go ahead and pull the power back to 5,000. Now that we're above 500 feet.
Number 231,
pull the power back to 5,000.
Clear for takeoff. Runway heading.
And keep that turn coming 90 degrees from where we took off. You've turned about 45 degrees so far. And go ahead and turn the fuel pump off as well. So 500 feet, power goes to 5,000, fuel pump off. All right, you're a little bit slow right now. Let's speed up by pitching forward.
Okay.
And you see how you're not really 90 degrees from the runway right now? You're, no, we want to be the other way. This way, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So now we're 90 degrees from the runway we took off on.
Okay.
All right, now you can turn downwind.
Turning downwind.
90 more degrees, so this will be parallel with where we took off now. Look at your speed. You see we're kind of slow. We want to be at that 59. There you go.
Okay.
So
Pitching down.
if we get too slow in normal kind of level flight like this, what can happen is we can stall.
Okay.
Which can be dangerous in the traffic pattern.
Okay.
All right, so now we're abeam the runway here. We're in the downwind.
Yep.
We want to climb to traffic pattern altitude, so that's 1,700 feet. We're pretty much there.
There are 231 takeoff off. Connect.
We're also abeam our touchdown point, so let's go ahead and go throttle idle. Carb heat on. Pull that on. And now when you pull the power idle, we're going to get slow unless you pitch down, so pitch down.
Okay.
And don't start turning towards the runway at all. Just keep flying straight out this way because there's
Okay.
someone else landing still.
Yeah.
So now we'll do GUMPS. So gas. We're on a fuel tank that has fuel.
Okay.
Fuel pump, turn that on. And you see we're slow.
47
Yep.
X-ray Sierra, runway 17 clear for touch and go. The wind is 130 at 12.
Okay.
17, clear touch to go, 147 X-ray Sierra.
All right, so that was gas. Undercarriage. Gear is still down. We didn't put it up right. It's down here, and
Yeah.
we've got 3 green on both sides. That's good. Mixture we don't have in this plane, so we'll skip that.
Okay.
Prop is still in climb pitch. That's
Okay.
what we want. Seatbelts are on, and spoilers. So go ahead and pull the spoilers just to right there and hold them. So now keep your hand on the spoilers for the rest of the landing.
Okay.
Do you see that traffic?
No, I don't.
He cleared us for a touch and go.
Executive Tower Archer 697 Charlie Alpha going around.
Oh, you can start your turn.
Charlie Alpha, Roger.
Start turning base. So we want to be descending now, so you can point the nose down a little bit.
Okay.
Nice. So now we're going to go get lined up with the runway, and I want you to approach at 65 knots.
Okay.
So use your pitch as necessary. Maintain 65. You're turning a little early. Let's stay in the... This is the base leg here.
Okay.
Go on base. We're going to check final. Make sure no one's coming. I don't see anyone. We're going to look, make sure no one's coming from base on the other side. Looks good. And now we're starting to assess, are we high or low? And I think we look pretty good right now for being a glider. We have really high lift wings, and we have a really high lift option of high drag option of spoilers. So we can
always slow down.
We can always slow down, but we're treating it like a real glider. So we're pretending we have no engine right now. So we'd rather be a little on the high side. All right, I'll let you do the landing, but I'm going to be on the controls with you.
Okay.
Big thing is we don't want the spoilers to pop out on landing. So don't kind of guard the spoilers. Once we get close to the ground, we do not want an increase in spoilers at all.
Okay.
And then if I say go around, push the spoilers all the way forward. Okay. So go ahead and pull the spoilers out just a tiny bit until you see about an inch.
Towards me?
Yeah, towards you until you see an inch.
Okay.
So a little less than that.
Okay.
There you go. And now maintain your speed of 65. And
Okay.
don't let the spoilers move.
Okay.
All right, now put the spoilers up from here. Go ahead and put them all the way up.
Charlie Alpha, runway
There you
17
go.
clear for touch.
We're getting a little low there, so we'll wait until we're a little closer before we do spoilers again. All right, gears down. We're clear for a touch and go. You're doing a good job of maintaining center line. Go ahead and pull the spoilers out just an inch again. That's good. Don't let them move now for the rest of the landing. So we're going to get down as close as we can to the runway without touching. So start leveling off here. We want to be right on the center line, so holding it off. We're just going to hang out here.
Yeah.
Keep pulling back nice and slow until we touch down. A little right rudder.
Okay.
All right, small bounce. Go ahead and go full spoilers. All right, full power and right rudder. Don't touch the brakes, right rudder. More right rudder. Nice. Nice and smooth. Try to keep the wings level here. And don't get slow. Hand on the throttle for takeoff. As long as these are fully stowed, which they are. Nice. Nice job. That was pretty good. How'd that feel?
It felt good. It felt like a little bit of nerves because I've done it in a long time, but
Yeah. It's also,
Yeah.
there's like a steep learning curve there's a lot of complex stuff here.
Yeah.
But I think a couple laps and you'll feel...
there's some muscle memory that started coming back, so I felt a lot more confident than I did 2 years ago when I first touched the plane.
Nice. All right, so we're going to make some call-outs on the upwind. We're going to make a call-out at 300 feet. At that point, we can make a 180 to the runway.
Okay.
And then we'll make another call-out at 500 feet. At that point, we can make a full pattern with an engine failure.
Okay.
And then at 500 feet, which we are, go ahead, pull the power back to 5,000. And yeah, you can turn your crosswind. And then turn the fuel pump off. That's our after takeoff flow. All right, let's look outside for traffic. That's one of the nice things about the glider is it's really easy to see.
Yeah. Lots of glass.
So one of the biggest dangers with the glider is the spoilers deploying low to the ground or the spoilers being deployed on takeoff and you don't realize. So if you can imagine, you would be descending and not know why with full power.
Yeah.
So if you're ever having just terrible performance and it doesn't make sense,
First thing.
check your spoilers. All right, I don't see anybody. I think we can turn down. All right, so what are you thinking about now?
Checking the pattern. I'm thinking about climbing to our 1700.
Nice. Cool, yeah, that's exactly what I was looking for. So we're almost there. What should you do when you get to it?
Level off and come down to 4,000 on the throttle, I think.
We'll go ahead and go idle.
Okay.
Since we're a glider, that's easy for us.
Okay.
And it looks like we left our carb heat on. Not a huge deal.
We want it on right now.
Yes, we do now that the power's idle.
When should we have turned it off?
After we took off.
Gotcha.
All right, so you're a couple knots slow, and you're pretty close to the runway. So let's turn away just a couple degrees here.
Angle out.
Otherwise, you're going to have to make a really steep turn.
Gotcha.
So yeah, turn to the right, just a 5 degrees. That's good.
Okay.
All right, let's do GUMPS. Gas.
Gas.
We're on a good fuel tank.
Yep.
Fuel pump on.
Fuel pump on.
Undercarriage.
Undercarriage.
Gear is down here. 3 green both sides.
Yep.
Watch your speed. Okay. Nice, good correction. Mixture we don't have. Prop and climb.
Okay.
Seatbelts and spoilers. Go ahead. Pop them out of the D10. All right, landing flow is completed. You can turn base whenever it looks good to you. So take a peek back at the runway.
All right.
I think that's good. Yeah.
Turning.
And then keep cross-checking your speed. I like how much you're looking outside. That's really good. All right, we're on base. Let's check final and opposite base. And runway's clear.
Okay.
And then when we turn final, we'll do a final check, make sure gear's down, and we're clear for touch go.
Okay, turning final.
All right. And then how are we looking? High, low, or right on?
I feel like we're a little higher than we were last time.
Yeah, we are. This is a good approach, though. We're a glider, so we want to make sure we can get there.
Number 697, Charlie, I'm staying you down when I call you base.
Should I be using spoilers now?
You can give yourself a little bit of spoilers. You're getting kind of fast, so pull the nose up and give yourself a little spoilers. Nice, yeah. No matter what your spoilers are, maintain your same speed still.
Gotcha.
With your pitch.
Final runway 17, clear to land.
Number 2, runway 17.
Nice, so a little less spoiler than that, and we'll be able to hold that in all the way to landing. Perfect, just keep it right there. All right, gears down, clear touch and go. Keep the nose down, we don't want to get slow here.
Your traffic's almost a beam into your right arch.
All right, stow the spoilers. All the way, yep. And don't pull them out again. We're getting a little low there. Yep.
697 Charlie, traffic's a full stop, runway 17, clear for touch.
All right, try to get us on the center line with your rudder. And just holding it off, getting as close as we can without touching. I'll get a little closer, don't let it touch, don't let it touch. We bounce in the air.
Yep.
All right, full power. Don't touch the brakes, you're on the brakes.
Am I?
We were screeching the brakes there.
Okay.
All right, hand on the throttle. Full power, carb heat off. There you go, climb in at our
59?
Yep, and then make sure the spoilers are stowed as well. Those
Okay.
were still in the detent there. So before you go to the power,
Stow
push
and
them
then power.
up. Yep. All right, we're looking for 300 feet. So 660 is field elevation. So we're looking for 960
Okay.
is when we can make a 180.
We're there.
All right, we can make a 180. Don't do it, though. It's just a call out in case of emergency. We're planning ahead.
Gotcha.
All right, watch your speed. You're going to stall here. And you see the ball is out to the right there.
Okay, I didn't notice that because it's all the way over there.
Yep. Well, you've also got the string. Think of it like a dog's tail, and you don't want to step on the dog's tail. So step away from the dog's tail until it centers.
Okay.
All right. 500 feet, power to 5,000. and fuel pump off, and we can make a 360 now.
4059 Alpha.
So step away from the dog's tail, get it to center.
Number 697 Charlie Alpha, touch and go. You can go back to left traffic.
Fuel pump on, or is that later?
Do your power idle carb on first, and then GUMPS.
Okay, gas. So fuel pump right.
And
then
on a good tank.
good tank left. Yep. Undercarriage. Bring 2 green, 3 greens. Then M is, I forget what M is.
Here, let go of the stick real quick.
Mixture, right?
Okay, so you see how it's wanting to pitch down. You're holding it back. It's trimmed pretty well for airspeed there.
Okay.
Mixture we don't have.
Okay. Prop is in climbing.
Yep.
And then seat belts and what's the last S?
Spoilers out of the
Spoilers.
D10.
Okay. So I want to go ahead and put them out.
And once you do that, you should be idle here, and then for the rest of the landing, you're using that.
Gotcha.
So once you do that, we do not have an engine. We're a glider for the sake of training. So you're pulling back a little bit still. We want to be at
65.
At at least 59. At that yellow triangle is our lowest drag ratio to lift. So we're going to be able to fly the farthest at that speed.
Okay.
On final, when we have a headwind, it's okay to fly a couple knots faster than that. Like 65 is a good approach speed. How are we looking? High, low, or right on?
I feel like we're on.
Okay, yeah, we're on without spoilers. So ideally, you want to plan it so that on short final, at least you can use spoilers. Because if you don't use spoilers, you're going to float a long way in a glider.
Okay.
So, but also, you can't add spoilers in ground effect, or you'll throw yourself into the ground.
Okay, gotcha.
All right, so base, we check final. Opposite base, check the runway. And then turning final, gear is down. We're clear for touch to go. And he said left traffic on the go.
Okay. We're a little high, which is fine.
Yep.
And pitch down a little bit more.
Number 4380 at Mike, Romeo 17 clear to land.
Trying to get on center line.
Inbound, stay tight. Okay, since what type airplane are you flying? Roger, it's Kilo.
That was funny. Okay, give us an inch of spoilers. And maintain your same speed still. All the way down into ground effect. Ground effect means like 10 feet above the ground.
Okay.
Keep coming down. Don't pull up. Don't pull up.
Okay.
Once we get into ground effect, now you level off.
Okay.
Good. Get as close as you can without touching. Don't oh, it's okay. Leave them there now. Watch the wingtip.
Number 697 Charlie Alpha, 1 able left traffic.
Right rudder, hold it off. Hold it off. Back pressure on the stick.
Okay.
All right, we're on the ground. Go ahead and go full power. More right rudder. And carb heat off. And then make sure those spoilers are fully stowed, and then hand back to the throttle. There you go. Climbing at 59, looking for 300 feet. If we have an engine failure now, we're going to land somewhere straight ahead.
Okay.
Keep climbing at our 59. There's 59. Pull back. All right, 300 feet. We can make a 180.
Okay. Are we starting
just
left
straight
turn
out.
on?
No, he's headed straight out.
Okay.
There's 500 feet. What do we do there?
Come down to 4,000?
5,000. And
Oh,
fuel
sorry.
pump up.
Okay.
Yep.
Fuel pump.
Number 35543 on the left downwind, Romeo.
Okay, that's an Archer, the low wing
Yeah.
trainer there. So we'll follow them. So a good rule of thumb is to let them pass you before you turn. Also, they're probably going to fly a pretty big pattern, so we want a little more spacing.
Okay, turning.
Nice, so this is way off to the left, so step away from the dog's tail until it centers. Right rudder, right rudder. You see it brings it to the center.
Yeah. Okay.
And the wind is pushing us that way, so point the nose over this way so we can flash right. Yeah, point the nose over here. Use rudder and aileron. And let's point the nose into the wind. This is called crabbing into the wind. So we're pointing this way, but we're traveling that way.
Gotcha.
And there's our altitude.
Okay. we're a little high, aren't we?
Yeah, so let's level off. So pitch forward and then reduce your power a little bit. And don't turn downwind yet. I see that traffic. Okay, yeah, we're still climbing, so you pitch forward more. This instrument tells you if you're climbing or descending.
Okay. Should I be at 4,000 now?
No.
No? Okay.
You can stay at 5,000.
Alright.
Turn downwind. Yeah, power setting here just kind of depends on how fast you want to fly the downwind. You could be as high as 5,000 and the downwind is fine on RPM.
Okay.
Or you could be idle. It just depends what you need. So let's go ahead and go idle now. And then carbine on. And GUMPS.
Okay, gas. So fuel pump is off, so I want it on.
Yep, you see you're getting pushed left a little bit. Point the nose a little extra to the right so we have a straight ground track here. There you go, that's perfect right there.
Okay.
So nose is pointing that way, but we're traveling that way.
Yeah, I haven't had to crab it before. This is the first.
Yeah, there's a bit of a wind up here today.
Okay, so undercarriage is good. Make sure we don't have it. Prop is in the correct position.
There at your 11 to 12 o'clock in about
Seat belts, and then what's the last S again?
Spoilers.
Spoilers.
35543.
Okay. Okay. Turning base. We're a lot farther out than last time.
Yeah, further away from the runway. Alright, final check, gears down, clear for touch and go.
Okay. Are we gonna touch and go, or are we landing?
Let's just do touch and go, and then the next one we'll do full stop.
Okay.
Here, let me show you one. My controls.
Your controls.
My controls. So I want to be at 65, so I'm pitching up for my airspeed here. Now back down to maintain it.
Okay.
I've got a bit of right rudder because the wind's trying to yaw us to the left.
Okay.
And now, runway's made. I'm a bit high. I'm going to give it just an inch of spoilers. And keep my 65 and the spoilers. I'm not going to change them as I come in. I'm not going to stow them when we get into ground effect. So starting to level off for ground effect here. I'm in ground effect. Now I'm just going to maintain center line and hold it off until I'm going to let the ground come to us. Just continuing to slowly pitch back. If I do it too much though, we'll start climbing, which we don't want, right? We're on the ground, full spoilers. Now I'm going to stow the spoilers, full power. Right rudder, because it's going to try and yaw like crazy to the left. Alright, keeping that right rudder. Now that we're in the air, I'm going to let it yaw. See, that's what the wind's trying to do to us while we're landing.
Yeah.
So that's why we need all that rudder. But once you're in the air on upwind, there's nothing wrong with it. Just let it yaw.
Okay.
Alright, and now from here, spoilers are stowed, full power, carbine's off. We're at 59, and now we're looking for our callouts. Your controls.
My controls.
Your controls. Alright, so we missed our 300s for 180. Here's our 500 call out. So we can make a 360 now.
Okay.
Power to 5,000.
364 kilo, then turn left, the next intersection.
Fuel pump out.
3. Are you familiar with jet access?
Power back a little more, 5,000.
Yeah, kind of, sort of. Okay, once you turn left there.
And yeah, you're good to turn. After you do your 500 check, you can turn crosswind, as long as there's not traffic.
Got it. Appreciate it. Thank you, 64 kilo. Executive Tower, Twin Beach.
Alright, so remember, point the nose a little to the south here so we don't get pushed to the north. Nice, good job. You see how we're having a parallel ground track with the road there?
Yep, that's my target.
That's one of the maneuvers on the private check ride, is to show you could do a rectangle with that ground track.
Okay. Okay.
You're doing good. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling confident.
Nice.
Okay, we are at 1,500, so I can keep climbing.
I think it's a lot for the first flight with some complexity here, but I think after a flight or two, you're going to feel really, really confident in the plane already, in the glider.
I'm going to come to power ride, is that fine?
Yep.
Number 147 X-ray Sierra, runway
Pump
17, clear to
is
land.
off, so I can keep it.
You didn't change your pitch when you went idle. We're going to stall there. So
Gotcha.
push down until we're at 59.
Okay.
There you go. So yeah, power idle, carbine on, and then GUMPS.
Okay, alright. GUMPS is...
Yep, on.
35543, hold your position.
Undercarriage.
Want to maintain that speed.
4 kilo. Do you see jet access? They're inside that terminal.
Here, let go of the stick for a second. See, it's going to pitch for your speed there. Don't try to force it too much. Stay up. We'll trim it back just a little.
Thank you.
All right.
Okay. 35543 taxi parking.
Taxi park at 35543.
All right, what's next?
Make sure we don't have that. Pete, prop is where we want it. Seat belts. And then
November 70 Golf Alpha, you can maintain.
the last one.
Let's go ahead and turn spoilers is the last one. Pop up the spoilers. All right, we're getting slow every like 20 seconds right now. Try to include that every 10 seconds. Take a peek at your speed.
Okay.
For the most part, we should be looking outside.
Final,
But
yeah.
every 10 seconds, take a peek inside.
Final looks clear. No traffic on the other side.
Good job. Nice.
Our height looks good. Okay, turning base. Okay.
What's our final check?
Final check is
Gears down
gears are down
and clear land.
and clear land. Should I go ahead and add spoiler? Or
Yep,
not?
add some spoilers. Yep. Spoilers are going to control our
Our descent.
angle. Yeah. But maintain your speed still, 65. Pull back. Yeah.
Okay.
And now you see we're getting low pretty fast, so maybe a little less spoiler, but keep a little out still.
Okay.
Yeah, we got a pretty strong headwind here. Let's go ahead and stow them for now.
Okay.
Until we get closer. And just don't start getting slow here.
Okay.
Alright, give me a tiny bit of spoiler. And just keep it right there, no more.
Okay.
Alright, we're going to hold it off. Start coming back.
7 Charlie Alpha, you're number 2 for the airport. Extend down.
Nice, bleeding off that speed. Right rudder.
Right rudder.
Don't let it touch. More right rudder. And hold it off.
Okay.
We bounced a little, no worries. Stow the spoilers. There you go.
And November 7 X-ray Sierra, if you can't make Alpha 4, jump
All right,
into
full
the
spoiler.
intersection of runway 13, please down to the end.
7 X-ray Sierra, we'll continue then.
Alright, so the spoilers. Nice, now we're going to the end. So we bounced, and I had you stow the spoilers because I just didn't want to get really slow off from the bounce and slam into the ground.
Yeah.
So stowing the spoilers gets rid of some drag. But that's also why we floated so far down the runway.
Okay. That's definitely the longest float down the runway I've ever experienced.
Yep, there's
There's our
just
ladies.
7 Charlie Alpha, appreciate your patience.
there's just so much lift compared to drag compared to a normal airplane.
Okay.
And then it looks like we've got a setup there, so we'll try not to blast that.
Okay.
Well, it was a good flight. Nice job.
Thanks.
Do you have any questions from the flight?
How many more flights until I'm doing radio calls?
So today we was just trying to have it be as simple as possible. So we were leaving the gear down between landings. I was doing the radios. We'll brief that before the next lesson and have you start working on those. So we'll start working some more complexity and just try not to overload you too much.
Yeah. Cool. I did notice that we left the gear down the whole time.
Yeah, which is fine to do if you're doing traffic pattern. General procedure, though, is that once there's no runway remaining, we'll stow the gear.
Yeah.
But regardless, we do the GUMPS check before we land every time, even if we're leaving the gear down.
Yeah. It's a good habit to be in.
Yes, especially if you're switching between different planes. Like one plane might have retractable gear and another might not. So if you are flying the other one a bunch and then come back to that one with retractable gear, you could forget it easily if you're not used to doing GUMPS.
Yeah, that makes sense. That'd be pretty not fun.
Definitely something you don't want on your record is a gear up landing. You probably wouldn't get hurt with the gear up landing, but would wreck a plane. You could get hurt, and now you have a black mark on your pilot record.
Nobody likes demerits.
Nope. So let's see. We just did touch and goes. We had a little bit of a crosswind. So rudder in the landing. You remember that one where we took off and I showed you how the crab?
Yep.
So the wind is always going to try and weather vane the plane into it. So
yeah, I definitely wasn't used to that.
Mm-hmm. Whenever you're taxiing out, always take a look at the windsock, and that'll help you know what to expect on the takeoff and landing there. Really important thing with the glider is don't add spoilers once you're in ground effect.
Okay.
Ground effect is technically the length of the whole wingspan above the ground, but really like 5 to 10 feet above the ground. So I would say if you want to put a hard number to it, within 10 feet above the ground, don't add spoilers. You can reduce spoilers, but don't add spoilers from there.
Okay.
Yeah. That's just going to slam you into the ground.
Yeah, that last landing we did reduce spoilers, so.
Yeah. So if you're ever concerned and think you're going to slam into the ground hard, reduce the spoilers a little bit.
Gotcha.
Taxiing with this, always be really cautious with the wingtips. Don't be in a rush. Don't taxi too fast. If the tail, like you saw getting with the run up, the tail is going to be cocked to the side. So the best technique I found in this to get it to switch around is to just pump the brake with bringing the power up and pump it.
And that just helps shake the tail into position.
So our takeoff callouts, if you remember, 300 feet, we can make a 180. 500 feet, we can make a 360. And then after the 500 foot call out, power to 5,000, fuel pump off. And then we can make our crosswind turn,
That's like,
traffic permitting.
so since it was my first time at glider, I don't think the last time I was in a plane we did call outs for like 180.
Yeah, so typically if you're flying a Pitts or something like that, or a Cessna, anything that's a powered airplane, you cannot make a 180 on the upwind usually. It's called the impossible turn because it's not possible. But in a 172, you're going to have a glide ratio of something like 7-to-1, give or take, which is just the ratio of your lift and drag.
Yeah.
In the glider, it's 30-to-1, so way more efficient.
You can go out before going a foot down?
Yeah. And so with that, in the glider, we can make a turn definitely at 300 feet, a 180 back to the runway, which is pretty cool.
Okay.
In a pure glider, you'd call it out more like 200 feet
before you're on the ground. Like you could go horizontally 9,000 feet if you have 300 feet off the ground.
With 30-to-1? 300 feet above the ground, 9,000 feet. Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah. Okay, that's a lot more than 2,100 feet.
Because if you think about it, you're pointing away. It's not just a 180-degree turn, because if you just turn 180, now you're offset from the runway. So it's really...
There's more...
like
length.
a 270. Yeah, because you got to go 180, now you got to turn back and then back again. So there's way more turning. So some people as well will turn away and then turn back. So that just means you're doing that second turn first instead of at the end.
Yeah.
So we'll definitely practice those. I flew with a glider, someone who was already a glider pilot today and was doing a self-launch checkout, and we did some of those today practicing. And that's one of the cool things about a glider is there's really no point that you cannot make a safe landing. Whereas in a Cessna, there may be. So
Yeah. There's gaps of safety.
Yep. Other things, just to debrief, wingtips on takeoff and landing are a big deal. We don't have much travel. I mean, if you see they're 3 feet above the ground and they're way out, so a small bank input is going to hit the wingtip on the ground. We're tailwheel landing gear, so rudder is really important. The landing doesn't stop when we touch down, so keep your feet active after we're on the ground. And then if you're ever not feeling good about it, just go around. So go around in this is stow the spoilers and then full power.
Cool. Carb heat.
Off, yeah.
Off, yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, it's good stuff. We'll brief radio calls next time you're studying for your written. So general rule of thumb, a lot of instructors will have students pass their written before they solo. So I think if that's the case, then 5 hours glider, 5 hours tailwheel, and then Cessna get you soloed within however long it takes. Probably won't take long having those done already though. So yeah.
Cool. Sounds good to me. Straightforward, I guess.
Cool. Well, good flight. We'll go grab your logbook and get that logged. And you got your student pilot certificate already. We've done your TSA endorsement already. So next two things are just solo and written.
Cool.
Yep.
Sweet. I'm excited.
Yeah.
Let's go.